Last time, you guys were just collecting yourselves at your ship, getting all your resources on board. Prava taking Eleanor onto the ship, stealing her away. Like immediately, as soon as she was offered, that was it. She's gone.
You make it sound so dirty, but yes, that's literally exactly.
The girls' night in the ship. So yeah,
The attention she deserved last time. So now he's gonna
Exactly.
give her way too much attention. And you're really weird about it.
I gave you a choice if you wanted to take Eleanor or not, and it's like, nope, we're taking her. That was it. Gone.
Me, the player, I have concerns. You know, we've already had like a fake benefactor and stuff, so this is probably risky as all hell. But the problem is 100%.
No, Thiveron's ready to go. Like he's really trying to fight the urge to stay and look for his sister, but he's also having like a religious fight with himself. He's not supposed to be part of her story anymore. He can't interfere, but at the same time, it's his sister. So
Thiveron, you're back in your like room. Are you just that moment trying to put yourself together, resist the urge to run out into the station and find your sister? And let's see, Prava, what are you doing? Are you posting on your social media, making sure to take photos of Ella Boys, like goes going out into the vast?
Well, literally exactly that. He's trying to convince her to do a cooking stream with him on the way to the next planet.
Kuzon's being wary as hell and making sure everything's prepared and no
I
trappings.
tell, like, as we like pack up the reactor, I don't know other word to describe it, the hot explodey thing, I point at one of the drones and I point at it and be like, stay, watch it.
By the way, as Aiden's sitting in the pilot seat and, checking, the engines, everything's working fine. He's doing some tricks with his new revolver since he's getting used to its weight. Like revolver also stuck, he's just spinning it and flipping it around, getting used to it.
So I have come up with a small thing, since you're going to be jumping from point to point. So to make it easier and less overall super checks, roll me 2d6.
2d6, here we go. 9.
9, understood. And I've got secret modifiers for that, but you may decrease it with piloting. Whoever's been main pilot, please roll first. Whoever's aiding, please roll second.
Okay, I'm gonna be behind the wheel, let's do this. Piloting. Ooh, Kuzon!
Solid.
Man, not bad, man! You've really been putting some points into that.
I don't skimp out on piloting.
Nice, nice.
We're moving.
We're moving, boys.
You are going to be spending about 2 weeks within the drift. However, this is mainly due to you popping in and out at the locations that have been given on your data. Like, these are the places where the cruise liner would have stopped for its quote-unquote tour normally, but moved over with its wrong directions. So, this is what I want you all to do. Everyone present, please roll me 1d10. I can either add 2 multiple rolls together, so either Thiveron and Kuzon could add rolls together if you desire, or one of you can roll again.
What does that do? If we add it together, that means we get a 10? Is that bad?
Yeah, it means you get a 10.
Like, I guess I don't have a gauge. Is big number good, or is it just all new?
Oh, I'm not telling you. It could be brilliant. It could be not.
reroll.
Oh, you're gonna roll. Okay.
I'll hold on to the 5.
Oh hell, it could just be random re-rolling.
Hey, I'll hold on to my 5.
Oh wow.
I guess this is made. Just round them up, man. Maybe 10's good.
All right, so Thiveron, you're gonna hold on to that 5 because you rolled it twice. Kuzon, did you want to re-roll? Do you want to add together?
I don't interfere with what
8.
the universe has in store for me.
Ooh, 8. Yeah, it seems like we. Taliban's like, no, you must see this. Now I'm just gonna check my table. One moment. Oh, while I'm checking my table, I do want to explain something as well. I'm going to be trying out a sort of Destiny point thing, like how it meshes with this group. Now, at the start, you guys have 4 points to your name. These narrative points can be used to affect things within the description of the scene or certain things that should be of interest. For instance, let's say the hallway's on fire and I'm describing a scene with flames and all that. You can spend a narrative point saying, oh, is there like a fire extinguisher next to me? And it's like, yeah, there's a fire extinguisher, it turns out, as you smash the glass and pull it forth. Sort of like that, small narrative nudges sort of deal.
I'm glad that you're finally adding destiny points. I love that system.
It is a little difficult to balance, so I'm only doing it narrative effects right now, so they don't have super impactful.
Yeah, I remember in the last game, like, oh, I'm just gonna fucking reroll. Yeah, that was dumb.
At one point, you exit the drift on your very first expedition into the vast. The place you come out is just a void of space. It's empty, quiet, almost unnervingly so. I don't think any of you have ever been that far away from, well, a system before. There's not even a hint. Oh, Alex, push to talk. There does seem to be a tiny bit of scrap metal here and there, though. It's pristine white.
Kuzon, can you scan that debris? Think it's part of the ship?
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I'll scan it. Is it star metal? Can I like use the scanners and try to figure out what kind of material this is?
Well, you may use the scanners. That's a science officer action, so you would have to use the science officer action.
Okay.
Of course, Thiveron can also do this with his magic abilities if you really wanted to as well.
Yeah.
You do detect some organic matter along the edges, almost as if it was chewed on recently.
I would like to collect some of this. Star metal is very precious.
Like, you can use your grappler and to bring small pieces, but the big pieces are sadly far too out of your carry range.
Makes sense. I'll just spend a moment like working, and I'll have my robots help me.
Now you take a closer look, you can see that the edges have been almost melted by some sort of organic acid.
I'll ask for Thiveron to help me.
Okay. Thiveron walks over and we'll try to identify it.
We'll work together.
Let's go.
That's
Not bad.
So as you're looking at this organic acid, it doesn't seem to be melting through the glass containers you have it in. As you it seems designed to eat star metal.
This doesn't look like swarm weaponry, does it? Oh no.
It does. You don't know what it comes from, but given that what happened, what you saw on the chunk of star metal from before, it seems like some sort of blade or tooth or claw or something dug in and delivered this acid into the metal itself.
It appears some sort of large creature attacked the ship and it burned through its hull.
As you mentioned, the swarm is one possibility.
Don't do that to me.
I just said it's one possibility, but there are also others.
I'd say we stay the path, but just stay sharp, because whatever did this to that ship's hull, I want nothing to do with. Yeah, I'll spend my downtime between now and like the next place, like we're finding this down into, so I have some backup UPBs.
Nice.
So as you're like scrapping it down to UPBs, I would say you get around about 200 from it. Like, well, since you couldn't get the big pieces in with just your grapple, you get about 200 from the star metal you did get in. As you continue through your way through the drift, almost Saturn-like purple, the drift is a bit more chaotic than normal as you start nearing your next location.
Heads up, guys, we're almost at the second point.
As you exit the drift once more, you see it's almost blinding as a blue sun shines through the windows of your ship. And before you, it's almost amplified by the almost crystal-like giant structure before you.
What in death's name is that?
Describing as crystal-like, like the big swirl. Is that?
What you see before you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Holy. You just gave me a gigantic nostalgia rush. Holy fuck! Is that Zone of the Enders?
Yes.
Holy shit!
As you look upon the structure, it almost seems to be gleaming ice crystals, frozen in time as a spiral. Even the planet beside it, despite the burning temperatures of a blue sun, which are at least almost 10 times the heat of your sun, are burning the surfaces of these planets. The side that is facing you is still completely frozen, including the vortex of ice before you.
Huh.
Kuzon?
So,
As magic officer, can I scan this thing?
You made it. Roll me mysticism.
I'm trying to think of like what our best option would be with our ship. Are we better with extreme heat or extreme cold?
Oh.
Boom! Boom!
Right then. So, I'm gonna give you a small option. You can spend one of your god's favors to gleam into the past. Okay, so you spend one of your god's favors as you peer not just through this reality, but looking into the story of what happened here. You can see a wormhole, a vortex before you that draws things into another place, maybe even another time, circling this star along with this planet. Its location, you can see bits and pieces of what appeared to be a ring of some kind twisting about. Don't know the devastation that happened, but whatever happened caused the wormhole to appear. But all at once, you see this small ship next to the vortex, and in a moment, it is sucked into it. And from the point it entered, you can see that reality itself seems to freeze from that point of origin, crystallizing the very fat tear in reality until it creates the vortex of ice you see now.
You guys don't think our target went in there, do you? Because, like, not getting it out if it did.
The ship you saw was not large enough to be the Keleon, you know that. It seemed to be a small personal craft. Because you...
Well, the thing is, Thiveron knows nothing about wormholes. He doesn't know anything about that. He's just interested in discovering what would cause a wormhole to freeze. Or reality itself to freeze.
You do feel that whatever caused this, even now, with your scan, you can feel the sheer amount of magical power that caused this. Like something magical happened. Some spell cast or item used seems to have frozen this place solid.
Hey Kuzon, on the maps, did there used to be anything significant here? Like, do we even know any of these planets, or maybe if they were important at some point in time?
I'll note, like, if I have the equivalent of a star chart, I'll make a note of this location.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
With your scan...
see if you can't pick up some extra data from the computers. If we found something like this, I bet there's people out there that will be willing to pay top credits for whatever the hell this is.
I mean, we know somebody who'd be interested in this information.
But how do you freeze that?
That is supposed to be impossible. So, I'm afraid this is some mystic voodoo stuff that I have no idea what's going on.
If you look at Thiveron, he looks absolutely shocked and awestruck. It's very clear he doesn't know what this is.
There are bits and pieces of chipped away ice, like floating past your ship, some bouncing against the shields. You can see it gleaming almost like crystal as it passes by.
As that happens, I'm just
I'll
gonna
grab a sample if we can get some.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna look towards Kuzon and not say anything, but you know what I mean. Come on, dude. There's
Yeah,
no
no,
way we
I
can
can-
pass this up.
I can grab a sample and move it in the freezer with the thing, right? Like I can preserve it.
You could. You also have actually the containers that the wildlife people gave you.
Oh right, yeah.
Kuzon, before you go, please let me go with you. I need to make sure it is safe.
Yeah.
It's not
Before we go
radioactive
onto
or
the ship,
something,
can
is
I
it?
detect magic on it?
Oh yeah, you can, and you can tell like all the shards around the ship currently are magical in nature.
It's not radioactive, is it?
I'm gonna cast Identify.
Essentially, these crystals, before Kuzon is getting ready with his grapple and robots and stuff to help pull it in, you can tell that these crystals are giving out intense cold all around them. It's as if the very spiral itself isn't even done freezing. You looked into the past, like the far past, and you could tell that it's still ongoing. It's still trying to freeze the area and reality around it, despite it basically destroying the wormhole that was once there.
I don't understand, but this ice seems to continue freezing, Kuzon. If you're going to take a sample, it is very, very dangerous. Merely touching it could freeze you in an instant.
We know somebody.
Telekinetic projectile.
So, is Thiveron and Prava comboing? Like, he projectiles it towards the ship, and Prava uses his grasp ability to pull it in.
Yes.
Is that how it's going?
Exactly. You do.
I'll have the robots hold up the crate like
Prava's
it's like a dunk into.
How heavy's the crate? Because I can just lift the crate and move it to wherever it gets lobbed.
I'm going to tell everybody to activate their armor's environmental protections just in case. And then I guess I'll do it.
Okay,
That wasn't
good,
super
good.
bad.
And so essentially, and I'm going to say you got enough damage in order to fling it into the crate. It's you hit it and it spins wildly, but just as it reaches the crate, it just perfect, like a lovely puzzle piece, just with the crate closes and starts floating back to the ship.
Totally nice and careful. Telekinetic projectile.
I'll I'll use the winch on my crossbow to start pulling the crate back.
You're part of Aiden's crew, you never miss.
As you start pulling in, you can even see bits of ice already forming across the crate before the stasis is even activated. So did you want to activate the stasis or?
Yeah, I'll activate the stasis before I let it in the ship.
As you activate the stasis, as you put it into the ship, you can the frost outside and bits of ice is slowly starting to come off, as if the ice you brought in is almost like a crystal. It is see-through, almost diamond-like in its clarity. You can see on the edges swirls of color, as if it's holding a bit of a wormhole within it.
Ooh, wait. So we have a petrified wormhole with us right now.
That's what Thiveron told you it was.
That's pretty crazy.
And it has to continue to keep freezing to sustain it.
Yeah, that's pretty fucky.
Whatever you guys want to do with such a thing, you can tell me at your own leisure. But did you want to hang around here, enjoy the sights, or?
I think we've enjoyed the sights long enough. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we'll take a few pictures as evidence for what we got, and then we'll bail.
Prava's already on that.
Prava, I don't think this needs mentioning, but I'd appreciate it if you don't upload this to social media, not just yet.
I'll wait until we, sell the information first, then I'll post it. That's what we call in the industry double dipping.
And with that, you break once more into the drift, leaving behind the vortex of ice. Oh, that was nice. I have several tables, and basically you split them up between all of you. So, if you wish, you could roll an extra time for Ataika too.
I'm gonna leave that to Kuzon, since I feel like Ataika is his responsibility.
What, Elabor doesn't get a roll?
Did you want an extra roll? I am totally fine if you all decide, yes, we want to see more strange shit. Possibly dangerous shit.
By the way, who wrote for that one? Who's the one that got the icy wormhole?
Oh, you want to know?
I kinda wanna know.
Thiveron.
Oh, look at that.
See, it was fate.
I feel like everything we run into out here is a chance for more profit, stuff we can scrap, stuff we can...
Or, stuff that can cleave us in half.
Yeah, that's a risk I want to take.
I do have several tables, and I also have several custom-made pictures, just like one you saw before, of several things.
Dude, if you keep tempting us like this, we're never gonna reach the ship.
So check it out. This is some cool shit right here.
Yeah.
You know you love it.
This is literally The Witcher. This is literally The Witcher 3, dude. We're gonna do like a million hours of side stuff.
Right, let's see. Who's next? Aiden. Okay, let me have a roll. As you are passing through the drift, and as you can just see bits and pieces like continuing on and on, but soon enough it becomes hotter. Like normally things don't get this heated as you're traveling through, and more rock is appearing with each passing moment until finally you see this. Along the area there's these almost a swarm of almost amoeba-like creatures. In their center, a rotating crystal, transparent arms reaching out from their body and touching the matter ball, like the ball in front of them is slowly being formed. You thought they were breaking it up, but they are forming this perfect sphere from all the stuff that they had gathered, almost as if they're forming it and compacting it.
Wait,
How
are
plants
they
made?
terraforming? Are they making a planet?
It is small. It's about the size of your ship. It's not even that big.
Come on, Aiden, come on. Let's see if we can.
As Prava gets more and more excited, I'm gonna look back towards Kuzon and just say, keep your hand ready.
I will say, describing these things is pretty damn hard. They're kind of amorphous.
Aiden's gonna, against his better judgment, Aiden is gonna follow Prava just to make sure he pulls his ass out of the fire in case shit goes sideways.
You and Prava near this creature, and as you do, it less amoeba-like and starts contracting into a more almost gaseous form, looking more like malleable clay in the hands of a master sculptor, just shifting next to you, almost as if watching you.
Prava starts like reaching out with his mind sense to see if it's got any kind of like appreciable mind, and if he detects a mind, he's going to start flooding it with like positive, friendly feelings.
You don't detect a mind per se, but you detect a presence.
But he is, with warning Aiden, gonna let go of the rope and turn around and take a selfie with it.
For fuck's sake.
Would you try making an acrobatics for me, Prava? Prava, as you turn around, you do snap your picture like Aiden. You watch as Prava slowly drifts away from you.
For fuck's sake.
Like he's going out into the drift.
I'm immediately letting go of the rope. Ugh, come back here.
Whoa,
you stupid bug.
you managed to grab him. You're also drifting out into the drift.
Fuck! Kuzon! Kuzon!
I'll fire my gun. Okay, one of them.
As you fire, you can see the line just barely miss repair, just, and as they're starting to drift out. But as you're about to drift out, all you see is like you feel something on your back, Aiden, as you're pushed towards the line.
I'm gonna immediately grab it.
Pushes us. Prava also telekinetically like grabbed the grapple as it went by.
You could have as well to bring that to you. So essentially, you can see this almost gaseous limb push like Aiden's back, and then the line coming towards you from Prava, and you manage to grab onto Kuzon's grapple.
I'll start reeling them. You'll see Kuzon like pulling on the crossbow like he was fishing.
I think Elabor is probably standing next to Thiveron, just shaking head. It's like, what the hell just happened? As you can see that the small sphere of matter is being finished, you can see all the forms of these creatures start spinning its gases all over the sphere, like as they each start planting themselves on each end. And within that moment, they just vanish.
So that just happened. Next time a bit of warning would be nice, you know?
Alright, if you really think you need it.
Oh, come on, let's get out of here. I think we've sightseed enough for one day. I'm done.
Unfortunately, that's not up to you. What do we see next,
Right, and there's the last one, and I said thank you to Kuzon for re-rolling for this. As you are traveling through the drift, you come out into open space once more. The small bits and pieces of asteroid float past your ship as you come out, but it's not a field, it's more of just a singular rock. There's a system nearby, but you seem to be quite far out from it. There's a few planets floating around it, but for some apparent reason you appeared next to this asteroid, and the asteroid is rather large, and what's strange about it is half of it is almost unnaturally smooth metal, and it's not patterned like rock. It's just almost like there are also tendrils of metal like latching onto the asteroid.
I'd like to do a scan of that. I'll just send I'll just send it in like a wave and try to monitor the echo back to see if I can get any idea of what might be going on with this, kind of like a sonar.
As you scan, you discover that thing is alive. The asteroid itself isn't, but whatever structure is attached to it, it's alive. Everything about it is alive.
Like a living creature?
Yes, you can detect metals, star metals, and all that, but what comes back is like there's blood flowing through what is on that thing.
Ugh.
It is a living, breathing thing.
Can I take it something to identify what it might be?
Let's see. Life science, I think you could probably roll. While you're doing that, I also mentioned that your scan just also brings back there's sort of tunnels inside this creature, like.
With my Xenos theme, this is a rare creature that uses life science to identify it. The DC is reduced by 5.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Aiden's gonna quickly take a look around the cockpit and say, Kuzon, where's Prava?
Oh god. Towards the airlock.
Prava, how far are you?
He's not sure yet. He would ask Aiden to come with him before actually jumping.
Okay, so I will describe what Thiveron knows before anybody dives out the airlock. What you sense here, it is a spacefaring creature, and from your life science check and your knowledge of how exoplanar life works, normally you would say it was some sort of parasite latched onto the side of this asteroid, but more you look at it, it's more like a colony. It's like a nest, essentially. That's what this big bulbous sheen-like metal is. It's containing the nest within. And you know from the fact that creatures like this tend to be a bit more passive, a bit more scavenger-like than outright hostile immediately. At least that's what you know. But from the life of you, you've never heard of anything like this from the Pact Worlds before.
I'm going to relay that information, and Thiveron's also going to say, I don't think it would be wise to disturb it.
There's a whole network of caves and tunnels and stuff inside of this asteroid. Like, we have no idea how many of these things are crawling around in there.
Were you saying there was like different species? Is this like the spacefaring equivalent of like a coral reef, where it's like open things?
That's
all sorts of other
That's a great way to put it. Essentially, kind of like a coral reef of whatever creatures formed it.
So there's like a hard like star metal shell, and then on the inside it's all biological.
It's not hard. With your scans, you can definitely tell that it's pulsing. Like
Is there
it's
like
living.
Is there like a liquid star metal or like a mercury like star metal?
There does seem to be some within.
I think this is more like how like we have iron in our bodies. It's like a star metal is a good one.
As long as it's not dangerous.
Yeah, you are getting small signals from the structure now. They're little pulses of what seem to be like, well, communication.
Morse code, maybe?
Communications. I'm trying to like isolate any other signals and try to isolate this thing, see if we can figure out what's being said.
It seems to make no sense, but as you're playing it over the comms, Thiveron, you can roll storyteller if you wish. And Aiden, you can also roll mercenary.
Oh, so it is Morse code. Haha.
Thiveron, you start thinking back a long, long time ago, and you almost got it. And it's only when Aiden goes, it almost sounds like Morse code. It's something like a very simple form of greeting, and then it snaps within your head, and you're like, that's like almost ancient communication with a certain amount of pulses. And as you do, this one seems to indicate, both you combining your knowledge, a welcoming.
We're not gonna be able to talk. It's like as they're talking, I'm making eye contact with Prava, almost pleading.
Over the communicator as Kuzon makes eye contact with them. Stand there at an impasse for a second.
No, Prava, don't do it. Kuzon, no, Prava, no.
But they said it's greeting us. It would be rude not to return the greeting.
Oh.
By the way, Aiden has exactly the same reactions as Kuzon. He's mimicking him, and this is not as a joke. He feels exactly the same way.
And Thiveron touch it and mind link with it?
You are currently at the Magic Officer Station, so you could.
Okay, so I'm going to mind link with it and greet it back.
So as you communicate it, you can almost feel it's almost static as so many different voices and languages start going through your head at once. You can almost make out some, but slowly but surely they start to focus in as you're... Are you trying to communicate with it back at the same time?
I guess we'll just try in common then, trying to hey, this is the language we're most comfortable with. Do you know anything close to this?
As you speak a common, you hear the languages start dying down one after the other, and you hear, hey, welcome.
Oh, you got there. Thank you.
You are welcome. No harm.
Yes, we also mean no harm. We're just humble space explorers, just passing through this area.
Explorers. Space.
Yeah, are you familiar with those concepts?
Concepts. Understood.
Oh, that's good. We've never seen anything like you before.
Have not met another single mind in so long.
Okay, sound like hive mind speak. Which I'm not, got bad experience with hive minds, but I'm not gonna let that poison the well.
Let's say Thiveron is looking at Prava and just thinking to himself, no, we can't keep it.
You hear your voice sounds familiar.
Well, shouldn't. We never met before. This is just a typical Sheeran mind speak.
Sheeran, words betrayer, words heard before. Those who came, they know. They came, yes.
Betray. You've been talking to the Swarm, haven't you?
Try to speak. Not the same song. No, not the same.
No,
they do
don't
not
really...
wish the same. They are not welcome.
I'm glad we agree. I don't like their destructive nature, the way they attack first and then disseminate information later.
Our home destroyed. They infest. Gone. Survivors only us.
How long have you just been drifting here, out in the vast?
System beyond. You can see just there. The swarm came, destroyed. No more. Unknown can return, but would welcome. You may come, if desired.
I think they're inviting us over, guys.
Oh. Are they?
My sense motive.
You can if you desire. I'll say it would be easy, but you can.
I mean, I don't want to be added in the
considering
jar of brain juice that they got stirring over there.
I'm gonna assume that me and Kuzo didn't hear most of that conversation, so Aiden's just gonna go,
well,
exactly what is welcoming us there?
Well, you can, if, because I suspect Brava's playing it over the comms, so you guys can hear? Or are you keeping it private, Prava?
Prava's linked everyone's minds together.
Okay, cool.
Everyone's...
Thiveron, as you're looking at this thing and you're hearing it speak, it doesn't seem to hold any dislike. In fact, it seems to really welcome you. Like, it's overly friendly to you. It
Just so we're
seems...
clear, we intend to remain single minds. We have no interest in joining a collective.
No, you would not match us. There would be no point. We do not take those minds. We are but one. One mind, many bodies.
Kuzon doesn't say anything, but he suddenly like crosses his arms and furrows his brow incredulously.
Can we like remotely aim the weapons at that thing just in case?
Sorry, that's an upgrade.
This thing is a friend. It's welcoming us in. Let's go meet it on its terms.
You know I'm only doing this because I trust you, Prava.
Out of character, I don't know why, but...
And Aiden's gonna sign and say, you know I'm only doing this because I don't trust you, Prava. At this point, I'm assuming Kelleporo's like, the fuck did I just sign up for?
Yeah, she's like, did you want me to come or just get ready to fly off in case anything happens?
I mean, that's up to you. Do you want to meet a rad hive mind and hang out in their place?
Do you have a spare spacesuit?
Yeah.
Against our better judgment, here we go.
Probably also going to bring it one of the meals from the ship, just as like a housewarming present, you know, like we're walking into a stranger's house.
I suspect you're going to bring the ship down until you're a good... Because there is a big enough entrance where you could land the ship.
We'll land at the ship. That probably makes more sense.
Definitely
Okay.
safer.
Right. So, as you start to land, you can almost see the very ground start to shift and thin out just a little bit, as if it's making a landing pad for you, as if it was used to this. And as you land, you have a long tunnel before you, and along the top of it, the almost liquid metal splits, revealing yellow lights, organic, with veins of metal running across it as it lights up the hallway.
Kuzon's just clutching his laser rifle, like, and like standing just behind Prava.
And do you guys head on in? Are you gonna drift and basically pull yourself along the...
This might be a weird question, since I'm not sure if technically there's atmosphere yet, but can Thiveron smell something?
There's no atmosphere.
Yeah.
I mean, you're outside in space still.
Yeah, fair point.
As you start floating down the corridor, as you see more lights, it starts getting brighter and brighter, and you see things passing by the entrance. And as you come out into the lights, you see a colony, a living, breathing, almost world of liquid metal and fluorescent light. You see creatures floating above you, carrying God knows what in the frontal lobes of their bodies to different locations. You can see little skittering creatures looking at you before skittering down into the holes and roots of this place. You can see pools of metal and fluorescent glowing lines all through it. And you hear all at once, now you're this close, it seems they can communicate with you all, and the word welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yes, thank you for having us. I'm very happy to meet you all.
Happy, greetings, yes. Happy to
brought
see single minds too.
Of a gift. Thank you for. I don't know if you guys eat traditional food, but
Gifts. We remember gifts, yes. Gifts were nice. Yes. We will take. Nourishment not needed, but welcome. Gift, yes. And you can see some of the little skittering things come up to you, Prava, like up on your legs, like tapping away at your legs, like tick, 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 tick.
Prava taps back.
Like they, so you tap it, click, 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 like waiting for the little gift to be passed down to them.
Yeah, Prava offers down the little bit of food he brought from the ship.
As you do, you see immediately they start digging into it, mainly taking away the metal part of the outer packaging and just starting to carry it away. Even the little heating module, they just and the food, while left behind, is slowly absorbed by the floor.
Prava's, by the way, recording video. He's got his phone like hovering behind him, and it's like doing like an over-the-shoulder perspective of everything he looks at.
You come armed, understandable. Yes, we were wary as well.
Oh, I think only Kuzon's armed, right? He probably looks around to assess everybody. Probably doesn't have a weapon manifested.
Aiden is as
Everyone
armed
else-
as he's ever been.
Okay, well, those two are paranoid. I wouldn't worry about that.
Well, he's got two.
Ha 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 ha.
I'm sorry.
That was
Perhaps
almost
you would.
Aiden.
Perhaps you would like a new form to speak to. Single minds like single entities to speak to.
Oh, not at all. I'm quite enjoying this novel experience.
Kuzon doesn't say anything, but like he's still holding onto his gun.
Okay, well, I guess Kuzon and Aiden might feel better if you send out a single representative, but if the multitude of
Understood.
you would like to speak with me, I'm fine with that.
Do not worry. We will accommodate the single minds that come to our home. And the small spire in the center starts to split apart for a moment, things forming and wrapping around. You can see feet reminiscent of your own armor, Aiden, as he pulls through, and then this almost bug-like appendage grabs onto the side and pulls him out, reminiscent of your arm. And a general representation, what I got to describe, is essentially this being. Essentially a combination of liquid metal. Its eyes are yellow in color, of course. Well,
Not gonna lie, that looks pretty strong and pretty badass.
it walks towards you with its many appendages. Its voice is still akin to the one you heard before, but this one speaks aloud, almost in a metallic manner. Welcome, once more, single minds.
So did you guys just like make this body, or did you have it around for this purpose already?
This was one of our previous hosts. His previous body perished in trying to defend us from the betrayers.
Prava's like walking circles around this thing, trying to get a look at it from every angle he can. He thinks this is super cool.
It's like the ground, so the ground and like everything is surrounded by this metal.
Yes, it seems to be their flesh in some capacity. Our system used to welcome us. We will welcome among them.
I'm sure you'd be welcome among the Pact Worlds too. Any sentient life form who's looking to build a life of peace is welcome in Pact Worlds.
Does the swarm threaten these worlds too?
They've made a couple soirees in, but we've made alliances with the nearby systems, the Mutual Defense Pact against the Swarm.
Then you did better than our previous home.
You keep referring to the swarm as betrayers. Does that mean that you're somehow connected to them?
No, we speak of the betrayers of our home.
Wait,
They
some
tried
among
to
your
make-
people betrayed you?
They tried to make alliances with the swarm, the people of those worlds. Many still defended us, but we are more calm than before. In other words,
so-
if you want to know exactly, essentially what he's speaking about, if you don't get his spoken English, because I'm trying to speak weirdly, essentially the other single minds or
Yeah, I
people,
figured
alien
that.
people of the world, some split off to join the hive
So-
to save themselves. So
So, back before your system got destroyed, you actually did have interactions with other single-minded species and you build relationships with them.
correct, we were at peace. It was nice. In order to live, we need to bind ourselves to living beings.
So you need hosts in order to survive. How do you survive on this asteroid then?
It is only thanks to passing creatures. We are forced to hunt in order to live, but we are floating further and further away from known space. It will be a matter of time before we are abandoned by our previous home.
What happens once you borrow the host?
We do not borrow. We are accepted among their number. I believe the word is it parasite? No.
Symbiosis?
Feeder. Symbiosis. Correct. Yes, word obtained. Can use this word from now on. Symbiote.
So rather than harm or take over your host, you live as a part of him.
Correct. Defend the host. Grants us feeding. It is a simple matter to do so, but our hosts here are in stasis. They are dwindling in number.
Thiveron will step forward and say, through our mind link, do you mind if I record your fight against the swarm?
You wish to know how our world, our system, our home fell.
I wish to know how you ended up here, the whole story. Like you, I acquire knowledge.
That is acceptable. If you wish to be comfortable, please sit over there. And it points towards like a space where the liquid metal starts to shift, almost like a breathing thing as it forms a chair.
I assume Thiveron hears it forming and he'll go sit down.
Once you become a part of a host, are there any negative side effects for the host that you are living with?
Negatives are to be expected. We are also a living creature. While we say we don't need nourishment, it is more we do not take more than needed. We're able to sustain ourselves for so long that, but the drain on our host could be worsened if under stress. But such prevention, we would never let the host come to harm under such circumstances. The bond is separatable. However, it is not an easy process. I'm gonna make a small roll for Elibor.
Out of character, I kinda wanna get these guys back to the pack worlds just so we can fuck with the entire ecosystem again.
Prava's already like, these guys are out here stuck in space, they're super chill. Prava's already gonna suggest we bring these guys to the backgrounds.
Oh god.
Prava also kind of wants to try bonding with one of these guys. His curiosity is getting the better of him.
After Thiveron takes in all the images and emotions, he's going to stand back up and say, is it possible for your kind to give birth or to separate into multiple consciousnesses? We may be able to bring you somewhere to ensure your species' survival.
This would be possible. In fact, this may be the way to save our species. We would leave the host body behind, but knowledge and our core will live on.
I'd like to save all of you. You guys have a remarkable civilization here.
Since we're salvaging a ship, if you want to turn this into a full space opera, we can just stick the asteroid inside the giant cruiser and we can give them a cruiser for them to fuck off.
I mean, that's assuming that we can even get in control of the starship. But yeah, that would be cool though if we like took the star metal that's here and turned this thing into a star base.
Oh, are you talking about this aloud?
I think so.
We can also attach to any inorganic matter with ease.
I am willing to bring you with us, but on the condition that you do not interrupt the natural flow of the civilizations you come into contact with. You said that you feed on knowledge, that there may be negative repercussions for the host, but I cannot stand by and let your civilization fade. But I will only bring you with if you make this promise.
Such a promise is easy to keep. We only wish to live on, to keep up our life. We used to encompass an entire world. Now we are but a small fragment of what we were. As you're speaking, you can see some of the fluttering creatures, the smaller versions that flutter around you guys. There's like small vines that are hanging down, just swaying in what seems to be air that's here.
Wait,
Your suit's detecting that there is breathable air now.
wait, you guys can create an atmosphere?
We must accommodate all single-minded abilities. If we did not, then we could not hold our hosts as guests here.
I'm gonna look towards Kuzon since he's used to, you know, excavating in space and going into dangerous places. Hey Kuzon, if we discovered a species that can aid people in deep space exploration, how profitable is that gonna be?
We'll take like a member of them for now, and then decide if we want to do anything with the collective later.
They said the bonding process was reversible, so Prava was ready to offer himself up as like a temporary host to bring
If you-
these guys with us.
If you desire, we can give you a shard of us. Any one of you may hold out your arm.
Prava's arm is already out.
As you do, the creature moves up its own arm, and as it does, it seems to copy your four-fingered like anatomy as it grabs onto your hand. As it does, you can see its arm almost start to detach, like sinew and stuff, as it crawls up and attaches to your arm and slowly starts to like crawl up to its arm until its arm is basically nothing for a moment before it reforms. On your arm, you see snakes of liquid metal with bright yellow marks all through it as it starts to crawl up to your shoulder and seems to sit there on your skin, Kaiten. It will soon come into its own consciousness. Do not worry, it knows what to do.
So I guess we'll. Is this a location so like I can, since this is one of our navigation points, you basically already have the coordinates, right? Like,
Yeah, you can basically lock in the coordinates.
If when we get back to the ship, I'll basically set up a model where like I'll offer them one of my beacons, the one out of the car.
Is this food as well?
It's a beacon, so you can use it to if you see another ship or another thing down, you can use the beacon to flag it if you want to try to establish communication with others while you're drifting through space.
Understood. This beacon will bring you back to us when you desire. We hope that you return.
Yeah, we'll use it. It'll make it a lot easier to find them if we ever have to backtrack. Yeah, so that's something that we can think on.
We attach our ship to the cruiser and we attach the asteroid to the cruiser.
I
We're
mean,
already all connected. We'll figure out.
God, that
a way
would
to
be
get you guys
weird
back
when it
to us.
teleports back into the flipping packed worlds, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So yes, what are you guys gonna do now? Now you have one of these things attached to you.
yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of your home, we couldn't help but notice some of its structure and metal properties and, well, our kind seems to value it quite a lot. Not as nourishment, but let's say as for other needs. Do you happen to produce this thing yourselves, or...?
We are naturally made out of the metal, but we do not produce it in the same way. In order to make more of us, we need metal to survive. We were gifted this metal by the single-mindeds. However, we have been told that we produce pure. So, what are you guys going to do now? Are you going to head on off, or...?
Yeah, I think we should head out.
Okay. As you start to head out, you see the body start walking back towards the pillar where it came from, and you hear the voice in your head once more. We welcome, but must say goodbye, to the single-mindeds. We hope to see you again, and thank you. You make it back towards your ship with ease.
I'm gonna tease Prava since this is the last thing I can think of doing. You know, for somebody who shunned the hive mind mentality, you sure are keen getting back into it. Haha.
I mean, I just think of it as meeting a new individual, you know? As long as the hive mind means well towards us, there's no reason to revile it out of hand.
Yeah, well, that remains to be seen whether we can trust them or not.
You are literally the most open-minded person I've ever met.
I
I mean,
know.
not the most positive.
Probably
Awesome.
pats the little snake of metal on his arm, like, well, we have a chance to get to know them better as we travel.
Right, so eventually you get in your ship, and I suspect you're going to jump into the drift.
Sounds
Yeah.
sounds about right.
We got
Right.
a plane to catch.
Is there anything you want to do before the day you exit into your next location?
Maybe after dinner, play some craps with the guys. I mean, we do have those magic dices. You know, just throw them, have some fun at the table, but that's about it. To spend the time a little
Right.
bit.
you finally come into the last location. It seems like the creature on your arm, Prava, basically your chitin now looks like silvery up until like your forearm, essentially just shoulder and bit of your chest. It seems to just be relaxing for now for the past couple of days.
It's like you have a living tattoo.
And as you come out of your next location, you witness a green nebula surrounding you. It's thick with different space dusts. You can barely see the light of distant stars shining through it in the blackness of space beyond. You can see bits of electrical charge dancing throughout the nebula. Plasma streaking across, changing the nebula from its deep greens to its azure blues. But what points out even more is, as you look, a ship of stark white and grey bursts through the deep green of the nebula. The Kelion, the
That's
massive yacht starship.
That's
That
pretty
looks
big.
Thank you, because I did this myself.
That is super big.
Yeah, if we were to compare our ship to that thing, like how big would it be against this?
You could park at least, I would say, 1, 2, 3, 4 ships within its lower docking bay.
Our
It's
ship's
big.
not even small.
Like
We're not
if
like,
we're
we're like flying a medium-sized ship.
like if we're thinking that one of these little small dots is a room with a window, like this thing's huge.
It is large, yes.
Okay. So we need to. Do we have an estimate of like how long we have before this thing does its next jump?
No, you do not. Its shields currently seem to be up, but its turrets seem to be firing at something. Whatever's happening over there seems to be, well, a fight. You realistically have two options. You can either leave it be and let it fight itself out and then go into the ship, or basically try clean up whatever's happening over there.
Can
So
I
you can-
scan to like see if I can figure out what it's shooting at?
Yes, you may.
What is happening out there?
I thought we're in the middle of nowhere. What is it shooting at?
It seems to be firing at some sort of organic craft. Its large turrets are, of course, its turrets may be big, but they're mainly designed to take out things like asteroids and the like. They seem to be trying to take out the small creatures that are around it.
I mean, not that much different from the swarm entities themselves. It's all made of the same matter. They're chitinous, they're fleshy, they're...
Kuzon, can you give us a visual?
I think that if we're gonna be trying to work here, I think we need to take care of whatever this is. Like as we can see, and like I have the piece of metal. Like if this is what I suspect it is, it's capable of doing a lot of damage. Like it could compromise what we're doing here.
Would you like a visual of what's happening over
Yes,
there?
I would like a visual.
As the screen pops up, as you zoom in on the location, you can see bits and pieces of Kelion's hull being chewed on and nibbled away by these strange creatures that have large pincers up front that are grabbing on and seemingly chewing away at the hull.
Well, good news is that's not the swarm. Bad news is they're eating our profit, quite literally.
In retrospect, it is tiny pieces, but they still took pieces of hull.
I'm just surprised the ship's weapons are operational. I can't believe it's actually defending itself. Are those guns going to be a problem for us when we go to do our...
You can see the giant laser takes a moment to charge up, and as it fires a line right down here, slicing a piece of hull in half with its giant plasma beam.
That's pretty heavy grade.
Maybe while this thing is engaged with these enemies, we should take this chance to disable the weapons while it's distracted.
Or
That
another thought.
could mean that we have to fight these things with our weapons, though.
Another thought, Kuzon, because of the upgrade we got, wouldn't the ship technically recognize us as a part of it and it shouldn't attack us?
I will attempt to send a broadcast a message to the ship, like a handshake, to see if it acknowledges me, like if the AI acknowledges the handshake.
The ship seems to almost immediately give you a handshake back, but it does basically give you a lettered warning. There's no voice, but it just basically says, "Warning, hostile entities detected. Please hold on any docking until hostile entities are taken care of. Thank you."
Seems friendly enough. All right, let's help it out.
Yep, looks like pest control it is. Besides, Kuzon, can you run me some trajectories? If you're sure these weapons are so slow, maybe we can, nudge a few of these things into the weapons range and it can take care of them for us.
I'm going to run a focused scan on the guns and see if that lets me bring up a readout on one of our screens of what the charge level of the weapons is like. I'm gonna very specifically target the guns and try to analyze the amount of power that they're generating to predict when it'll fire.
That would be easy because I will mark where they're going to fire then.
Excellent.
Essentially.
Okay.
Well, let's go line them up.
All right then.
All right, Perseverance crew to your battle stations. Guests, please get to a safe area out of the way.
Say, I want to scry.
Now, let me see. Oh, you can know about one. I tell you what, the one thing you can know about is the fact that these things have a melee attack.
Oh,
Those
that's
pincers
expected.
on front is not just for decoration.
Yeah, fair point. Nobody's stopping us. We're the fastest boys in the galaxy.
Okay then, let's get this up. Right, I actually have a graphic for predictability.
Oh, this is gonna be cool. Nice.
So they're basically charging up a weapon for next turn.
The front's
You can
just
fire
for-
either one.
Yeah. I like this. So we're gonna move basically over here, and we're gonna have a great view of this area over here.
Okay.
Actually, let's get a bit closer just to make sure it's easier to aim. How's this? So that's 9 movement to get us there.
Okay, you have moved. Now, on to the next phase, which is the Gunnery Phase.
So should I fire at will at the box, or can I estimate the structural integrity of that thing?
No,
Okay.
because you're in the Gunnery seat.
I'll fire at will at the at this thing here.
That thing. Okay. Well then, roll. You managed to hit around the armored part for your first shot, but then you managed to get just in the hole, and you can see the thing starting to leak this gas that's starting to bits of flame kicking off of it. It doesn't look that good so far. Sadly, you didn't deal enough damage in order to make it explode.
Damn.
And now they're gonna make their gunnery phases. Okay, so only one hit. And which arc of your shields is this hitting? Frontal, apparently.
Yep, the strong part.
6.
We're down to 9 and 4 shields, right?
Yep.
Okay.
If you're controlling that, that's good. Right. Yep, that's done that. Also,
So wait,
awesome.
do they have some kind of spit attack?
Yes, what happened? It seemed like they brought down their tail of some kind. Hang on a minute. I'll actually give you a good look at these things as well while we're here.
Well, I guess we found whatever, separated that chunk of the ship. These things are spitters.
You can see they look like this.
Nice.
And essentially they brought up their tail, created some sort of ball spit and flung it towards your ship that splattered against the shields. And I believe
Here,
it
you guys
is-
metallic. You guys look like our new friends.
they actually sort of do, but sort of don't. Like they count it as
They
a rock.
eat star metal. It's probably being incorporated into their carapace. Just like sea creatures incorporate calcium and stuff into their shells. That's my guess, anyway.
Oh my god, is that the damage of the lasers?
Oh,
You can just
no.
see one of the creatures just flipping get disintegrated by the massive laser.
Maybe we should just sit back and let it deal with these.
Ash, please tell me the turrets move.
We're on a clock. Like, we need to get in here before it warps away, right?
Yeah.
Well, it can't warp away when its shield's up and it's currently being attacked, so...
Yeah, it's...
Oh my god, the turrets move. Hell yeah!
Essentially, the turrets accidentally move before the thing, but...
Right,
Anyway.
so before we do anything else, we have to move through the enemy spaces. Is that correct? I can't turn...
You
don't
need
have, like,
to
a
make...
maneuverability thing you can do, isn't there? Like
There's a flyby where you can try to... You make a piloting check to see if you can get out of their space without provoking opportunity attacks.
You have... Yep.
I wanna do that then.
I think that you should probably give him a boost for that, Prava. I think that we really
that's
need
what
that to
I'm gonna
succeed.
In fact, I'm gonna go further. Instead of doing the easy diplomacy check to get the +2 boost, I'm gonna do the hard intimidate check to get the +4 boost.
Also get +1 from computers, we need to use that stuff. We might as well, we've got 4 every turn, so...
By the way, I just want to make it completely clear. These guns are cinematic. This doesn't mean you get to keep these turrets. Because
Ash.
trap walls for space are totally different for, you know,
Hey Ash, can we
than
attach...
actual guns.
Can we attach one of those turrets on top of our ship?
No.
We just stick rocket engines on the turrets and they'll be our ship.
So yeah, you make it. What does that grant you?
It gives Aiden a +4 to his next action.
Right. So I wanna make evasive maneuvers or something to get out of their spaces without provoking attacks.
Slide. Piloting check to move starship up to its speed, forward port or forward starboard
Oh,
without
drifting!
turning.
I'm down. We're drifting, boys. We're drifting.
So that's gonna be a DC 6, I think. Yeah, DC 16.
I can take it.
Wow.
4 from Prava and 1 from computers, so that's a +5 to whatever I roll. 27.
Let me see. Yes. So essentially, you can go basically. You can drift if you want.
I wanna drift this way, can I? Or do I have to drift this way?
You can't
Wait.
turn, but you can drift. Hmm?
Did we skip engineering again?
Sorry,
Say, this is our
engineering.
second
Yes.
turn. Okay, yeah.
I thought
Sorry.
everybody did their turn during that because Prava was doing his thing and all that, and I was
Oh, no,
sorry.
I probably should have spoken up. I just now realized, I was like, wait a second, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, I was like, okay, you probably didn't hear me. I was like, okay, engineering, and everybody did their thing.
Yeah,
But yeah,
sorry.
carry on.
I apologize. I guess I'm just gonna scry again. We really should get like some mystic upgrades to our weapons so I can fire weapons.
Oh yeah, there's also the
Um,
Sister Alicia you can get as your main weapon if you want.
Yeah, that would be pretty. That would be pretty metal. I'm gonna scan that the bigger ship.
So that one seems to be much larger than its counterparts. Of course, it seems to do much more damage, but apart from the spit attack that you've already seen, you can also tell that it seems to it has a movement of only 6.
So, we're gonna drift, boys.
Nice. Right. So yeah, you discover that. And the next action is going to be Gunnery. I'm not sure if we had to roll piloting check again, but for this round we'll forget it in case that is what it will be.
I'm assuming that when we were drifting by, Kuzon could have easily taken
Yeah,
a
that
pot
should
shot.
have happened right after engineering, because Aiden should have made another piloting check.
Remember, you can fire outside your range at a penalty per hex.
No,
So
while we
it's
were
nice.
drifting, couldn't he have taken the shot?
Nah, only if you
Nope.
take the broadside action.
Yeah,
Oh, in
only
that
if you take
case-
the action
Or not
thing.
the broadside, but the flyby. That's okay. I'll take a shot at this.
Okay.
I'll use the computer check. It's only a -1, right? Not
Yeah,
too bad.
it would be -1 if that
Yeah,
case.
okay, that's not that bad. Okay, go for it.
Yeah. So I won't do a fire at will. I'll just do a shot.
Alright, you miss and the... Oh wow, okay.
Wait, actually the laser's gonna hit the platform, at least on the edges. Maybe that's gonna be enough.
I think you'll need to be our gunner for a bit there, Thiveron. I think I have to switch and redistribute our shields.
Yeah, you might be right.
It's based on your base attack bonus. So if you have a +3, then
Well,
you're,
if he
you're
wants
just
to keep
yeah.
operating that, I can probably go on guns. All I do is sit here and like yell at people. So how valuable is +4?
Your starboard shields are down to 1.
They have a +2.
I am going to.
Hold on. There are critical effects. There are critical effects in the new Starship book.
You're able to select just the right motivation for your crew, increasing the bonus you grant your crew members' actions to +4.
That's a little bit tricky, but.
And remember,
yeah,
the engineer has a divert option that you can just give us 5% of our maximum PCU back, distributed wherever you want instead.
Okay then, so is that good? Good. Right. So, piloting checks.
Oh no.
I would like to get out of here, please.
Don't worry, we're getting out of there. We're getting out of there like a bat out of hell.
Turn order. Yep. Perseverance.
We wanna fly by that thick boy. So, piloting check.
Do it. Pilot that check so hard.
So that's a 25.
That'll do it.
25 plus 5 tiers. Yep, you basically just swim over, just woof.
I
As you
battle
can
out
see,
that
its
boy.
pincers attempted to slice your ship in half. It's like, sing, as you just misses.
Yeah. And I think that means you get an opportunity, Thiveron, to fire the guns while we're passing it on the starboard. If you want to shoot at it.
You basically, on the gunnery phase, it counts as if he's firing it like face to face. Like, he gains like good bonuses to just blast it in the face.
I can fire whatever weapon I want, right?
Whatever weapon.
Would it hurt us if we fired the missiles into it?
7,
Maybe just keep.
8.
Because they're gonna come to us, right?
They already moved, so next time they're getting fried. But we do want to get ready, and we turn over here. And we're actually using the platform as cover. There, I'm happy with this positioning.
That cover explodes when shot, remember?
9, 10.
Okay. Oh, he is a range. So, I believe the next phase is gunnery. And you do have some nice bonuses from both Prava and the flyby. If you want to do fire at will, remember, it can fire at 2 separate targets if you desire.
I was gonna say, if we fire the micro missile batteries, does that hurt us since we're passing through its space?
No.
Honestly,
Like,
I'd
can
say
we
it
just
wouldn't.
load the micro missiles into it?
But what happens if we fire a micro missile over here?
You gave the gun to the blind person. It's
think
a
you-
What
mirror
am I
image.
firing at?
You can take another shot with the laser light cannon, though, but -4.
Well, Thiveron, all I can say to that comment is hindsight is 2020.
Maybe if I had something to be good with.
To be honest, you can also missile ray if you really wanted to just unload your, unload your...
Out of frustration, Thiveron just unleashes all the heat-seeking missiles. All of them.
You know what? I can't fucking miss these.
5 against this guy.
Alright.
Roll against the platform next.
Douche, 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 douche.
Wow.
5 against the platform.
Wow,
I
consistent.
don't know what's going on, but you're rolling a lot of 5s today for
Fives.
everything.
5s!
You rolled 5
5.
twice for the revelations and now 3 times in a row.
Didn't even
What's with
roll
the
a
5s?
different combination of numbers to get to 5. You rolled a 1 and a 4 every single time.
Roll something else.
I got a 3 in the.
There you go.
9.
There's still a 5 in there.
It doesn't, yeah, it's
So I've
just
hit
rolled
that guy, I've hit this, I hit this, and then that 9 is against that guy, and then the last shot against that guy. 10.
10!
Thiveron likes this gun a lot more.
As you see the things charging up and start firing, you just see a swarm of missiles fire from behind and the front of your ship. Just woof. They just par across, all coming down on the same area. As all you see is just boom, 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 boom. And as the lasers fire, you see it just basically clip this as well. And 1 second. And this detonates actually from your concentrated attacks. And you just see this massive plasma ball of explosions just poof, rip apart the creatures, sending bits and pieces off into space. Right, so it's
Blooded.
Before we start the next turn, I do have to go, but I think you guys can finish this without me.
I think we're probably
Sorry.
going to finish in a minute. They may flee, to be honest. Actually, they probably would flee. You just got they decimated their entire thing. What would you like to do first? Would you like do you want to chase them down? Do you want to
No,
fire any other weapons? Or
if they're fucking off, fuck them. But one thing I want to do as the massive explosion begins to settle down after the twin turrets ripped them apart and Thiveron finished them off from the side. Aiden's gonna take a nice, long, deep breath, exhale slowly, look towards Kuzon with the piloting stick gently swaying in his arm and a smirk and says, "Best pilot in the galaxy."